All right, so I'm good to go.
Yeah, you are good. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll start again. We always ask, how many people can the Earth support? But shouldn't the question really be, how many people can the Earth support sustainably with a good life while leaving sufficient space for other life forms to exist? Do we have the right to exploit the entire planet to the exclusion of all other species? To a developer, profits are maximised by squeezing more people into an area. This, not consumer preference, drives urban densification and unhealthy overcrowding. While we keep giving the green light to economic growth, we cannot blame anyone but ourselves for the eco-devastation which will soon destroy us. We want economic growth, but don't want to acknowledge the consequences. How much more economic growth do we need? When does it end? And when will we shift into economy environment balance, what's known in economics as the steady state? Corporate greed is now marketed under the brand economic growth. I believe people are intelligent and can certainly fix up the mess quickly if they are pointed away from growing the economy and towards creating a better world. Two very different goals. A new definition of what it means to progress, accompanied by new ways to measure performance. Corporations and their political puppets tell us we must grow the economy. Common sense and science tell us that the planet has limits and that we have exceeded them. Which will you believe? We're told not to dream of a better world. Apparently, that's bad for the economy. The GDP growth economy is just plain selfish. It's about taking the inheritance and squandering it in the shortest possible time. Greed and eco-irresponsibility are encouraged, leaving nothing for our children but a scorched earth. The steady state economy is now clearly the only way forward. Small victories on the sustainability front are of course always welcome, but the real war is yet to come. Endless growth versus steady state economics. You will decide which way we go, and upon your decision hinges our future. Sadly, at present, I fear most are fighting the symptoms rather than the cause. There seems to be a simultaneous desire to save the environment while continuing to grow the economy. Can't we see the conflict? Hello, I'm Martin Tye from CASI, the Centre for the Advancement of the Steady State Economy. My goal today is to make you see that economic growth is the enemy, your enemy, not your saviour. It is the wolf in sheep's clothing. It is the disease which masquerades as the cure. To survive, indeed to prosper, there is no other way. We must change the system. We must adopt a new economic model, one committed to operating within ecological limits. As it is the environment which provides the foundation for all life on Earth, so too it is the environment which provides the foundation for the steady state economic system. The Earth is our home. It's where our children play and grow up to be adults, then to raise their own families. It's where rivers flow and forests grow, where wildlife in stunning beauty and diversity flourishes. For eons, the Earth has been a self-regulating machine, continuously operating in a state of dynamic balance, purifying the air and water, turning waste into fertilizer, turning sunlight into energy, and turning death into life. And so it could have continued forever. But then along came a single species armed with an ideology: growth, endless economic growth, measured by gross domestic product, GDP, the volume of money in the economy. Negatives ignored or just added in if they can be monetized. If money is expanding, all is well, this pathetic system presumes. Its modus operandi: to extract ever more from our home and send ever more waste back into our home, just to create money, now largely captured by a diminishing percentage of the population. A world of haves and have-nots, where money circulates faster and faster and in ever greater volumes. Money, money. The more the better. The greater the profit margin, the better. Money. Nothing excites a neoliberal economist more than accelerating rates of money growth. But no limits were ever set on this process. No use-by date, it being assumed that our planet had infinite capacity to support the human expansion, human beings being the prime fuel of economic growth. No use-by date and no consequences. No price ever to pay for our greedy excesses. Who needs ecosystems when the economy is growing? Any problems? Well, market forces will take care of them, we're told. Remove your trust from nature and traditional wisdom and place it in the hands of corporations and their political frontmen. Let us make money and all will be good, as the wealth will trickle down to all, is their cry. And so we obligingly did our part. We grew and grew and grew in both numbers and per capita consumption, trusting in absolute that all would be well so long as the economy was expanding. But blinded by the sugar hits of growth, we were overlooking one very big thing: that our planet, our life support system, our home, is finite, and it was collapsing under the ever-increasing load. For those who got in early, there was still plenty of trinkets to be enjoyed. For latecomers to the party, those who missed out, well, they are usually somewhere else, deliberately kept out of sight and out of mind by those complicit in this whole economic growth tragedy. And where some did develop a conscience, they were all too easily appeased by the lie that one day, if we just keep the economy growing, all will have the trinkets, all will be well, and all will be happy. And all the while, the blind eyes to the eco-devastation being wrought remained firmly shut, or at best squinted ever so slightly open for just a quick peek, a placard wave, a tweet, then back into the growth fold in time for dinner. While, for the first time in history, a single species devastated the planet on a truly global scale, threatening not only all other life forms, but even those who would follow, our own children, our grandchildren. Climate change, extinctions, toxic waste buildups, resource depletion, water and soil stress, the list goes on and on. These are all just symptoms, warning signs that we have been greedy, taken far too much from the commons, existed in the now with scarcely a glance to the future for far too long. To this day, economic growth remains the prime objective of humanity, and we knowingly tear apart our biosphere in order to prolong it for just one more accounting period or political cycle. Every corporation seeks growth. Every politician seeks growth. Every individual is encouraged to seek growth in their personal economy. And there are now nearly 8 billion personal economies. And meanwhile, a compliant media plays its role by mindlessly providing the growthism soundtrack. Now, I don't know about you, but I've had enough. I'm angry, beyond angry. This is stupidity, greed and short-sightedness unbefitting of a species which seeks to call itself intelligent. Who else is angry? Who else wants change? Well, we at the Centre for the Advancement of the Steady State Economy, we are angry. We want change, and what's more, we have the answer. We believe no generation has the right to run an economy of greater scale and impact than the environment which contains it can sustainably accommodate. We believe that this is both a moral and practical obligation, a duty owed to other life, future generations, and to the longer-term viability of the economy itself. The steady state economy recognises ecological limits, respects them, and is specifically designed to operate within them. Only within a steady state economic system can we honour our obligations to other life, to future generations, and truly flourish over the long term, thereby maximising our tremendous potential. It's time to evolve our thinking and raise our expectations. The steady state economy is not a retrograde step. It is a progression, an evolution, the next stage of humanity's journey through time. A time where we shed ourselves of the burden of perpetually bigger and refocus on perpetually better, a form of growth which actually is without limits. How exciting, how inspiring is that? Thousands have already endorsed the Cassie position statement, calling for a steady state economy. Some notable signatures include Abjit Banerjee, Ford Foundation International Professor of Economics at MIT, 2019 Nobel Laureate, past President of the Bureau for Research in the Economic Analysis of Development, and co-author of Good Economics for Hard Times. Kate Raworth, an English economist working for the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge, known for her work on donut economics, an economic model that balances between human needs and planetary boundaries. Bill McGibbon, climate change activist, author and founder of 350.org. Jane Goodall, David Suzuki, Dr. Vandana Shiva, and many, many more have endorsed the Cassie position statement. I sincerely hope you will join them by visiting our website and adding your voice. It is not enough that Cassie has developed the 21st century economy, because vested interests are stubborn and are digging their heels in to resist change. There are still obscene short-term profits to be made from business as usual. So they camouflage their agenda behind such nonsensical terms as green growth, two directly conflicting concepts. Making their intentions perfectly clear, they have no intention to change, and they will use wealth and influence, cunning and deception to maintain control. Economic system change, the one change that will facilitate all the other changes that must be made, can only come about through a movement of the people. So here's what Cassie is asking you to do. Go to our website and sign our position statement. It's easy to remember, steadystate.org. or just Google Centre for the Advancement of the Steady State Economy. I'm on Twitter. Jump in and join the conversation. Martin Tye at MartinRev21. That's at Martin, REV 21. Cassie is also on Twitter at Steady State Econ. Educate yourself. Learn how to spread the message. Exert pressure on your politicians. Talk to friends and associates about the steady state economy. Become a genuine ambassador, a warrior for system change. The corporations, the politicians, and the media, they think that between them, they've got the game sewn up. But there's one thing they've forgotten: you. Thank you all for listening. And that's the end.
Great. Thank you so much, Martin. That was an amazing speech, and I really love the way that you delivered it. One of the things that I've heard from a lot of these groups is that we're missing people that are able to tell the story and kind of help with the understanding. So I think that you really were able to do a great job of vocalizing and doing just that, telling the story of how we can jump in and participate. And I think that the donut economics model is something that we should all kind of strive for. So thank you for helping share that information. If you could please, I would ask that you drop any information in the Discord or send me an email with any relevant links that you'd like for us to include for your talk, as well as send to the public channel.
Okay, yeah, whatever you like. Yeah, happy to answer any questions or provide you with any information you think you need.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we have you read us stories like once a month?
Look, I'm always happy to any platform where I can spread the message. I'm happy to do it. I found that with a lot of this material, it's economics and it can be a bit dry, and there's a lot of academic stuff out there. Websites and things are all quite academic, and you get very soon you end up in graphs. And what I try to do is try to make it a little more accessible in my own way, and that's I do a lot of that through Twitter.
Yeah,
that's how I found out about you guys too, by the way.
And what's your Twitter handle? Use one more time.
It is at MartinRev21.
MartinRev21.
And we get a lot of discussions, people talking about this stuff through there. That's probably where I do most of my stuff.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Martin, for coming and talking to us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good luck with the whole thing.